Good morning, everybody. Mark Finan here in the home weather office on this Thursday morning. It's the 20th day of April, 2023. This is the morning briefing, and it is a bright and sunny morning, and it's going to be a pretty terrific day. We'll be talking about the warm-up that is coming our way. Yeah, temperatures getting into the 80s. This will be the longest stretch of warm weather we've had since October, so it may take a little getting used to see day after day in the 80s. Won't get there today, but we will, especially as we get into next week. Next week right now looks like it's going to be sunny and warm. And before I get to all of that, I do want to give a shout out to Juan Brown. I know a lot of you are here because of a suggestion by Juan Brown, which I appreciate. But if you haven't checked out his video of the super bloom that he posted yesterday, I strongly suggest you check that out. That was pretty impressive. And also, before I get to our local weather, I do want to revisit the tornado that went through Cole, Oklahoma last evening, resulted in at least 2 fatalities and quite a bit of damage in other communities as well. But I wanted to show you the way it looked on radar at that time. It was rather impressive on radar. So this is back around 5 o'clock local time to 6 o'clock local time. And this is where Cole is. Norman is up here. Oklahoma City would be well off to the north. Not well off to the north, but up in here. So what we're looking at here is, like I said, here is Cole, and this is the hour before. And you can see the rather well-defined notch in here. Let me back this up a couple of frames. I can take it frame by frame. So let's back up. So in here, in this part of the storm, Cole would have been receiving heavy rain and likely hail. But then you see this very well-defined inflow pattern in here, this notch, if you will. And the tornado would be in here. And then as we go through a few more frames, you can even start to see on the reflectivity that notch, and it just goes straight over Cole right there. And that may even be a debris ball in here. In other words, that bright reflectivity we're seeing in here might actually be debris that's been carried aloft. A better way to look at what they were expecting at that time is to look at the velocity mode. And so what you're looking at here are different wind speeds being shown, either moving toward the radar or away from the radar. So let me explain a little bit if you're not familiar with this product. So the red colors mean the radar is right up here. You can see it. The radar is right up here. There's where the radar is. And so the red colors mean that the wind is moving away from the radar, and the green colors mean that the wind is moving toward the radar. So let me just back this up a couple of frames. And so here again is where Cole is. And as we go through the next couple of frames, you start to see what we call a couplet. And that means that we have the 2 colors very close to each other. And as I scroll over this, the radar is detecting that at this spot right here, the wind is going at 65 miles an hour toward the radar, and right next to it, the wind is going at 45 miles an hour away from the radar. And that couplet only increases as it gets toward Cole, especially right here. Right here, that wind is 104 miles an hour toward the radar, and right next to it, the wind is 60 miles an hour away from the radar. So that's what we call a very well-defined couplet. And unfortunately, it is going right over the town of Cole, as you can see right here. So that is a radar couplet doesn't get any more well-defined than that. So it's a devastating situation, obviously, but when you look at the reflectivity again, so this is at 542. If I go back to the reflectivity, and I'm back up to that same time, you'll see that it isn't quite as well defined. So this is about the same time on the reflectivity, and you certainly don't see that couplet as well on the reflectivity, which is why the advancements we've had in Doppler radar and special dual pole Doppler radar are so impressive. Sure, back when we only had reflectivity, you could see hook echoes sometimes, but when the hook becomes wrapped up like this, it's impossible to see. But once you go to velocity mode, you can see quite a bit better. So a little bit on that. Let me show you what's happening around here. Well, we have a spectacular day. Satellite shows just a beautiful day over Northern California, but if you go to the north, look at where all of the activity is now. We're seeing the storm path, the jet stream, if you will, go much, much farther to the north through Washington and Oregon. They'll see rain and snow. The farther south you come, the clearer it gets. We don't even have anything in the way of marine layer along the coast. What we will be seeing here over the next couple of days is every now and then, as one of these systems goes by to the north, we'll catch a few high clouds that'll come our way, but that's the extent of what we will be seeing. And with the jet stream retreating farther to the north, our temperatures are going to be going up. So let's take a look at our very helpful 500 millibar chart. And let me make sure I'm back at the beginning. I am. So what we're going to see here is this ridge building in. So this is on the day on a Friday. Beautiful big ridge building in. This is good enough to get our daytime highs into the 80s. Now the ridge flattens a little bit. This is another little weather system going by to the north. This is on Saturday night. So Saturday night into Sunday, as this weather system goes by, notice the ridge is now here off the coast. So we may see temperatures come up Friday, Saturday, then kind of level off on Sunday. But again, if you have any outdoor plans, it's going to be great. And then look at how the ridge rebuilds next week. This is Tuesday. And then this is Wednesday. Rather well-defined ridge. There's a cutoff low out here, another low out in here. We're in between, which means sunny and warm. This is Thursday. This is Friday. The biggest trick for next week is going to be tracking to see what the models do with this cutoff low. Cutoff lows are notoriously difficult to track, especially 7 days out at this time of year. But right now, all the models are indicating that next week will be sunny and warm. And while we are not forecasting 90 yet, wouldn't be surprised if we get to 90 with this sort of pattern. Just wouldn't surprise me. And as you can see, even going beyond that, well out into a time frame that I'm less confident in. This is the first day of May. Maybe then we'd get a trough. So not saying we're done with anything in the way of rain just yet. We are likely going to see more chances of rain before we get into the end of the real end of the rain season, into the month of June. But it's now the time of year where we may see another, let's say between now and the end of June, we could see 3 or 4 days of rain. But in between those, we will see stretches of warm weather or warmer weather. The average date of the first 90 for Sacramento is May 4th, so we're really close to that. And consider that so far this year, we've only seen one day over 80 degrees in Sacramento. So all of that's about to change. Today, likely mid-70s. Tomorrow, low 80s. We'll hang out in the low 80s through the weekend with sun and clouds. But next week, 80s. And like I said, while we're not forecasting 90 just yet, don't be surprised if one of those pops into the forecast sometime soon. So that's everything I've got for you this morning. Let's see, today is Thursday. That means there will be a Facebook live chat tonight at 8 o'clock. And of course, I'll be on KCRA tonight at 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, and 11. Make it a great day. I'll talk to you later.